Naptown, the city that always sleeps. Most people think nothing happens in this town that is halfway between nothing and nowhere, but they would be wrong. There's plenty that goes on in this town for those willing to look. With Idris fully gone, the Muellers have struck a lasting blow to the Order. Things are getting more difficult, but the crew is not going down without a fight. With the chips down and nothing else to lose, the crew has become single-minded in their quest to take down the Muellers. Now all they have to do is wait for the Muellers to make a mistake, so that they can save the city that always sleeps. Alright, last time we left off, you guys regrouped for a little bit and discussed your plans, recruited the Order to at least be on your side, if not working for you, and then you went to check on Idris, who faded into the great beyond. Seamus decided he does not want to go back to work, so he is not going to. Is there anything anyone would like to do while you're chilling out?
I don't think so.
All right, you guys.
No, I don't think there's. I think that we've run all the errands I wanted to run.
That's fine. I'm just double checking before we start moving forward. So you guys are all chilling at the tree. It passes from midday to afternoon to evening and starts going into the night when one of your associates run back. Boss, I think we got something.
Well, do share. Don't leave us in suspense.
I mean, it's going on right now, so you just want to come look through the tree?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, that was unclear.
Yeah.
I figured we'd bring you in since we have a teleportating tree. That's on me. I'm sorry. I'm new here.
No, it's fine. No, go ahead. Lead the way.
I'm assuming all four of you are there, by the way.
Yep.
All right, so you guys head to a bar downtown. It's one of the ones you knew about. It was on your radar. You hadn't made a move on it yet. It is clearly being run by was clearly being run by the Muellers. And you see a truck in the back unloading alcohol. So we haven't engaged or anything because we thought you just wanted evidence and not us to get in a gunfight because we're a little low on manpower. So I hope that was the right call.
It was the right call. Yeah, no, you did what you should do.
There's like 3 or 4 people there, and like with the guy. Like you got a squad staking it out.
All right. Well, team, what do we think?
I could always see if Day wants to raid this place.
Well, that just shuts down the owner, right? Not necessarily.
I think that's a good idea if it can be definitively tied back to the Muellers. Otherwise, somebody else is going to take the fall.
That's true.
These hardworking Naptonians.
Do we just want to follow the truck when it leaves? Or, I mean, Faye, you could, like, turn into a cricket and just get in the truck and, you know?
Well, I don't think we should send anyone anywhere without backup right now.
Especially if we have rumors that they can depower people. We would hate to leave someone in a situation by themselves that way.
Absolutely. Now, my question kind of becomes, do we have a way of tracking someone? I cannot remember if that's an ability that we have.
I don't think so. I think right now, our best case plan is going to be to follow them in some capacity.
Okay, so we don't, yeah. No, I mean, I think that, I agree, for sure. And we don't split up to do that.
All right, so you guys are going to try to follow them when they leave?
Yes.
Yes. Trying to think if there's much that could be gained by looking at what they're... Okay, I guess let me ask you this, Zach. This is like an instance of I don't know how much to read into this. Are we to assume that if we see a bootlegger, it's unlikely that it would be anyone but a Mueller-related bootlegger?
That's information you would know in character, and you and the Muellers were the 2 major players in the city.
Okay, so it's not like... Because, you know what I mean? It's like, did I just see a crime? And I'm like, must be the Muellers. Follow them, you know?
No, it's...
Okay.
And specifically, you sent your crew to bases that you knew were being funded by the Muellers above and beyond that. There was probably If we're being honest, there's probably like another small time operation, but they, you guys were the big leagues and they were not.
I get what you're saying. Okay, I'm down then. Yeah, I'm cool. So I think we just follow them.
Cool.
Before we follow them, this is probably not important at all, but I assume we're kind of staking out and watching them. Does it just look like what we can see from where we are? Does it just look like regular alcohol, or is there anything like weird about what they're bringing in? So you guys are
across the street and it is nighttime, so make me a check if you want to determine if it's magical. And if you don't have a skill for that, you can just roll flat.
Yeah, I don't think I have a skill for that. Unless... Okay, the only one I'm going to ask and see is reflection and see if I can, like, pick up on any magic that is coming at me and, like, reflect it back. Does that make sense? I did something similar when we were in the forest the first time.
I don't think it works here.
Okay, no, that's fine.
What you're saying makes sense. I just don't think it applies.
Well, that was a 12.
So it's hard to get a good read on it, but from what you can tell, it looks just like alcohol.
Okay.
This is one of those moments where Cody would respond with, sometimes the answer is no.
Right, yeah. Well, and that's where I kind of had the same impulse that Mandy had, where I was like, oh, I want to try to investigate the alcohol, and I'm like, this might just be leaving someone here for no reason, I stay back and take myself out of the fight to look at beer that is beer.
It was not a bad idea. It just seems like alcohol. It's just alcohol.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Tell me how hoppy it is, though. Is it extra hot? Like, how hoppy is the hoppiness?
How much percentage of alcohol is in it?
Yeah.
So think of the cheapest beer you've ever had and then water that down, because this is Prohibition and they're trying to make it like you don't have a choice anymore because the other dealer just went out of business.
Gross.
It's not good alcohol.
No. All right, we can follow them.
They don't have a rift that's just making alcohol for them for free. How do you guys follow a moving vehicle?
Well, my suggestion was to turn Kaylin into a cricket and throw her at the car, but no one liked that.
Didn't we drive here?
No, you went through a portal.
Oh, we went back to the tree and then came through the portal. The tree portal.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
Sorry, that was unclear. I did say you guys went back to the tree.
You did.
I thought.
You did. I just didn't. I don't think any of us connected that.
Yeah, you did. I didn't connect it.
Are any of you good at jacking cars?
I love where this is going.
Decidedly no, Tanner.
All right, I'm going to look around. Is there a car anywhere nearby?
Roll me a flat roll.
Wait, where are we? Like,
we're just on a street, right?
Actually, yeah, there would actually be cars. Like, you're by a bar that has...
I want to find the fastest looking car.
Now roll me Now roll me a perception roll, whatever you want to add to that. Because I'm assuming you're doing this kind of in a rush.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Let's see. I'm going to use...
Fast Friends.
Finding Dirt and Truths That Are Hidden.
Okay, fine. Truths That Are Hidden seems like a little bit of a stretch, but I'll give it to you.
Well, what I'm looking for is one that's been souped up. Like, it's like a sleeper car.
Okay.
So it's not fancy on the outside, but underneath, they got the bored out engine. So let's see what we got going on here. It's not great so far. Can I also add...
Sounds like someone rolled a 6.
Called Authority.
No.
I rolled a 6. I do not find a car.
You find a lot of old beat-up jalopies. You realize you're in the less good part of town, which I guess having a car is, like, in the 1920s was, like, kind of a big deal, but...
Tanner just sighs and goes, screw it, and just, like, pulls the door open on one of those cars.
It hangs a little funny.
Alright, everyone, get in. This is our car now.
So you hop into this car waiting for them to peel off. So as they start to leave, make me a driving check, Tanner, to try to follow them.
Okay, now normally I would roll plus Mobile Slayer's kit, but this is not my Mobile Slaying kit.
I will let you have it because it was meant to be kind of a driving thing.
Okay.
Thank you for
That is a 9!
All right. So as you see this car pull out, you sneakily get around the corner as a couple of guys walk out. Hey, that's my car! So you have the option to stay hidden and maybe let these guys try to catch up to you, or gun it and get closer to the alcohol truck.
Oh, I mean, if this is my choice, I'd be fine with these guys getting closer. We can handle 2 mundane guys being like, "Hey, my car!"
Okay, I'm just letting that's fine. That was your option. So you now have to deal with these guys who start chasing you down. Okay, so you guys head out stealthily following this car. You're able to do it pretty well, but these guys are kind of just like chasing you, and like one guy's like trying. Who's sitting where, by the way? Who's in the passenger and who's in the back?
If Tanner's driving, Darling would have taken the passenger seat.
Okay. So, as you guys are driving, these 2 guys start chasing behind you, and one jumps onto the side door next to Seamus. Hey, give me back my car!
So is he like talking, like, is the window down where I can hear it? Like, I guess how did he catch up to us?
You're going slow.
Okay.
Cody or Tanner is trying to stay hidden. Mechanically, what happened is he rolled a 9, and he was given a hard choice.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
basically, Tanner is trying to stick to the shadows and like not creeping, but like not going fast, so he doesn't draw attention.
Yeah, I guess my question was, is this guy like running beside the car trying to keep up, or is he like just walking next to us while I have my window down?
He's like running, trying to keep out, and like trying to jump on into the car.
What side of the car is he on?
Next to Seamus.
No, like passenger side or other side?
Seamus, what side are you on?
Probably driver's side behind Tanner.
Dang it, okay. I had an idea.
Well, look, if you need to switch seats with me.
You're already driving one-handed. I don't want to distract you anymore.
That would mean he's running down the middle of the road. Maybe he's not doing that. Would he be running down the middle of the road, Zach?
I mean, he wants his car back. You stole his car. Grand Theft Auto, Naptown edition.
Right.
So yeah, he's running down the middle of the road. It's not like a hugely traffic time. It's like late-ish night.
Okay. Tanner, looks like the owner wants his car back. We might want to try to get away from him.
Seamus, are you being serious right now? Are you being serious? Open the door and make him fall off the car!
I don't want to hurt him. We're already stealing his car.
Okay, hang on. Hang on.
My car. Yeah, give him his car. As someone jumps onto his face side of the car with Darling.
Oh, great. Okay, I'm gonna turn and like lean out the window and grab his wrist, the one on my side of the car, and go, "Thank you for the use of the car." And I'm using Dominatrix and Close Confidant and Control the Will of Others.
I'm gonna say not Close Confidant because you're kind
Okay,
of...
that's fine.
Well, I'll give you the other 2 for sure.
That's a 10.
You see this guy's eyes kind of glaze over and just be like, "You're welcome," as he stops following. You know, like he like not falls off, but like waves goodbye. Bring it back soon. What are you doing? It's my car. We didn't let them borrow it. Why are you doing that?
Is there still another guy on the car?
Yeah, the one on Seamus' side.
Tanner turns around, looks him dead in the eyes, and says, "Let go of the car right now!"
Tanner, watch where you're driving!
I have to make eye contact while I do this. It's a thing.
Darling leans over and grabs the wheel.
And I'm going to use hypnotizing eyes and calm authority.
Yeah, you can use those. I'm impressed that Tanner drives a stick one-handed.
That's a 9. He, keeps both feet on the wheels.
Keeps both feet. Then how is he hitting the clutch and the... Never mind.
You only need one foot, really. And you can use your knees. Keep both feet on the wheel is a joke. That's from Blues Brothers.
Oh, okay.
So they ended their song at like this roadhouse bar where they'd play country western music. Anyways, I rolled a 9.
Alright, so he is able to, like, he lets go of the car, but he does not do so gracefully. And you hear him fall and tumble and like, oh! As you see, people start in the in the truck in front of you, start to look out the side to see what's happening. So make a stealth check. And if anyone has a way to help, you guys can do a grouped stealth check if you guys have things you can do to help.
I have make others focus on each other, not me.
That would work. You were in this car.
Can we, whoever's rolling, use the tag bait and switch and the group tag and say it's they're more paying attention to the people tumbling than the car?
Sure. First time you guys have used a crew tag in ever.
I know. I was I don't think I have anything.
I forget that they exist.
So can I just make my roll because I'm driving the car with a +2 from those other people's tags that they're using to help me?
Yeah. I figured you'd make the roll, but I was letting other people help you.
I'm using my magic.
Yay! It's a 10.
Okay.
All right. So they look and you see them start thinking about. You see there's a 10-second where you think they're gonna speed up. And then the guy just leans back in, and they just keep putting along. So, after what seems like a very roundabout way, and half an hour, 45 minutes of driving, you finally arrive at a warehouse. It is you've seen a warehouse like this before. It is not dissimilar from the one that you guys had originally fought Lennox Willis in, and then reconstituted as your base of operations. But it is a little bit, it's not exactly the same. You see them pull in, and, a garage opens. They drive in, it closes. This is notable for you, Tanner and Darling, as this is the first warehouse of theirs you've been able to locate, basically, since Lennox Willis's, for lack of a better term.
Since we had the fight with them there, yeah.
Okay, what's in the immediate surrounding area? Just a look around. Is this, in a cornfield in the middle of nothing? Or is this, still in urban kind of city area?
Would Tanner have looked in cornfields?
I think maybe what I'm trying to ask here is about collateral and what other resources are available.
Which place would have been? What I'm asking is which place would have been more likely to stay hidden at from Tanner? If you were canvassing looking for this warehouse, where would Tanner have looked? Would he have looked in an urban area or in a cornfield?
I mean, I would say that having it in the middle of nothing would make it more secluded because...
Okay.
But that's an opinion.
No, that's
and it is also
fine.
kind of the least helpful answer for me, so that kind of, is... yeah.
Well, if you would have... So Tanner would have looked in the secluded place or not looked in the...
No, I think this would be... If I imagine someplace... if we take, for example, the city that we're in, and we drove 2 hours in any direction... we would be in a cornfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we drove 30 minutes in most directions.
Yeah,
we could be in a cornfield.
Where you guys are, if you go 5 minutes, right? And
that's being gracious.
This is a city in the 20s. So if we drove 2 hours, we're either in the next town or we're in the middle of either woods or fields.
Did we drove 2 hours?
It was 45 minutes, not 2 hours.
Okay.
I thought you said an hour and a half.
No, I said half an hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misheard. Okay, so
Still.
Yeah, either way, 45 minutes away from a main city would be, to me, cornfield.
It was also a meandering route, in case they were being tailed kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's fair if we're driving that far that we're in a cornfield.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to make sure because I didn't want to be it's in a cornfield where you least expect it and be I would have checked there. I didn't want to make Tanner seem like he didn't check somewhere, obvious.
No, that's not why I'm asking.
So yes, cornfield. That's where it'd be.
All right, so I'm going to level with all of you. I have a knee-jerk reaction that I am not doing, but I want to do, which is put a flaming rag in the gas tank and a rock on the accelerator and just let the car crash into this building and burn down their warehouse, but that's vengeance talking, not good detective work. So I don't think we can really knock on the door, though. You know what I mean? We want evidence right now, right? We want proof that this is the Muellers. I don't necessarily want to burn it to the ground.
Well, I don't think that's a bad idea when we get out of here. But for now, I definitely think we want to get in without burning the warehouse down. So keep that in your back pocket. Anyone have... Oh, go ahead, Faye.
I think we need... What sort of evidence would Day accept as a connection to the Muellers.
Well,
that's what we're here to prove.
That's what I'm nervous about, right? Because here's the thing. There's like two ways we can look at this structure. One, as a target that we could just burn to the ground to screw over the Muellers. But the other is this is evidence solidly linking the Muellers to illegal activity, in which case we don't want to touch anything, but we do kind of need to know this is actually like evidence, but we don't want to spook them so they all leave. Because, like, if the Muellers know we know about this place, they'll just burn it to the ground themselves to hide the fact that it exists. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Well, and I'm curious if this is like their home base, if they have any information about that losing power situation.
Well, and if this is like, if they're just inside, like right now, well, that changes things then. Because, yeah, I mean, to your point, if they have like a big Tesla coil looking thing that slurps away Rift, then now that becomes its own thing.
That was such a gross sentence that I hate.
Well, we could start with, are there cars parked outside, Zach? I assume there have to be if this is far out of town.
There's a few cars, not a ton.
Okay, well, I think we should first take down their license plate numbers.
Ooh.
Or their car description. I don't know if they have license plates at this time. Car descriptions.
Even if they did have license plates, I don't know if these cars would have them.
We write down descriptions of the cars.
Or they might have just fake license plates, even if they had them, you know?
Yeah.
We will write down any identifying information about the cars.
Ooh, you know what? Like, Tanner makes like little scratches in like the bumpers in really obscure places, but like into the paint, so that way they could be identified later. Like if someone looked at this, I could say solidly this car was here this night.
Right, yeah. I like that.
That's really cool. Do you like scratch like Norse runes?
Yeah. Something like small and even like on the inside, but into the paint, so that way it can't be like glossed over later, you know?
I love that.
That's a really good idea, Cody.
All right, so
You are able to write a list.
Yeah.
of
Yeah, I
cars
mean, I don't know if
from
that's like a
distance,
roll. Are there windows?
Yes. It's like a warehouse.
Tell me
building.
how chest height they are.
There are some chest high ones. There are also like windows like in the upper floor.
not gonna lie, I'm having a little deja vu here.
You know, I feel like the last time this happened, one, we like had a building fall on us, and two, I think Faye got captured. So, you know, I'm hesitant.
No, I believe her magic just like stopped.
Oh, is that what happened? Yeah.
As a reminder, just before we get too far into this, her magic stopped because she rolled bad, not because of anything like a rift negating field at that point.
It's still something we'd probably be cautious about.
Alright, I think sending one of us in through the window is sketchy. I just want to peek in and see, like, I'm like bemoaning the fact that I don't have my car that I can say has anything in it, because I'm just like, I get out my binoculars that I would not have in my pocket. Yeah, I guess I just look in the window and see what I see.
Make me a stealth check.
No. So, you know how it's like, if you're in a lit building and you look out of a window, it is like nearly impossible to see out into the darkness, but if you're outside, it's really easy to see in. I want that to be a tag, because I don't really have any... Well, actually, I do have a lot of good tags for this. But I still want that to be a tag, because I really don't want to get caught.
I'll give you a plus
Thank
one.
you. I'm going to use Finding Dirt and Truths That Are Hidden.
Roll snake eyes.
No, I rolled a 13. I am the night. I am the darkness.
You are vengeance.
I am Batman.
So you creep... I was going to say creepily, but it's like, not the word I'm looking for.
No, I shine the buff up to that window, yeah.
You quite easily sneak through. There's a few guys like outside just kind of like keeping watch, patrolling a little bit, but they are not paying attention, where you almost feel insulted about how bad of a job they're doing. And you're like, my organization would do better than this. Can't believe we were raided, but they weren't. As you are able to get up to a window and peer in. What you see, you don't see... To begin with, you don't see much of anything of note outside of what you'd expect from a bootlegging operation. You see people loading up trucks and stuff. You do see stairs going up to a second level, and that's where it looks like offices are. It's much similar to how the layout for yours was, you know?
Yeah.
the foreman's office was up higher, so you can't really see into that to see if people are there. Since you rolled so well, you do notice Lucia walking around. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Well, I just had a thought. Do I have any earthly idea of what the Muellers actually look like?
You do not, but you do not see anyone who looks like they are more in charge than Lucia.
There are, like, two old twins in, like, mobster-esque suits, or, like, maybe a tall one and maybe, like, a short, fat one, like, odd couple-y kind of thing going on.
Actually, you might know what the Muellers look like. There was an announcement today, like, they were endorsed by the mayor, so that probably hadn't made the paper, so you probably know what they
Is one of them really tall and one of them really short and round, and maybe, like, one of them was always, like, smoking a cigar, the other one wears a stupid hat?
Are you trying to reference something?
No, this is just my headcanon, that they'd be, like, some kind of weird odd couple, like, one of them's, like, real debonair, the other one's, like, really grungy.
Oh, I thought you were doing something Blues Brothers-y.
Well, I mean, kind of, that they're an archetypical pair. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I don't see that in the building.
You do not see that in the building, no.
I just see...
So Lucia is like the highest ranked person that we can
as far as you can tell right now.
Okay.
And as a note, just with how you guys were talking, this is a base, not necessarily the base, if that makes sense.
Okay, I want to go back to the group and tell them all those things.
Make a stealth roll. I'm just kidding.
So I have a thought, and I feel like I keep suggesting kidnapping, which starts to feel bad after a while, but I'm, like, sitting here going, like, what is evidence that we could bring today that could, like, really turn things on their head? And Lucia's in there, and she basically is evidence, because she, I imagine, knows where all the warehouses are. She would be able to testify against them. I'm getting bad looks from the party.
Do you really think she'd talk? Like, if we follow through on this, and we take her back today, first of all, Faye and I should absolutely not go near the police station, but second of all, which we should discuss about that later, but second of all, we bring her back, what about Lucia is gonna tell Day that she works with the Muellers?
So...
Yeah, I can guarantee you she's not going to say a word.
Well, now, you say that, but, Seamus, you are an officer of the law, and you are witnessing her doing illegal activity right now. I mean, if she's in charge of this warehouse, she is breaking a lot of laws. Like, she's the biggest time bootlegger in the city right now. She has a warehouse full of illegal wares, and she's clearly in charge of it. So if she doesn't rat out the next person above her, that just means this is her place, and she's responsible for all this, and she's going to jail. So, you know, we could blackmail her, is what I'm saying. The very moral thing.
How about this, though? If we try to kidnap her right now, that's going to tip them off to what's going on, and then this place will be empty.
Well, this place, yes. No, not necessarily. One, if we kidnap her in a way that and no one knows that she's been kidnapped, not necessarily. Two, I imagine she knows other warehouses, not just this one, so she could feasibly guide Day to all of the warehouses, not just one warehouse. This is just a thought. If we don't want to kidnap her, we don't have to. I just think that's like plan B. I just don't think that would work. Grab her, put her in the car, and drive away real fast if things go really sideways for whatever plan A is.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to do a little bit more work on convincing us to a kidnapping, but...
I'm saying that's plan B. That's if we go in there and things go sideways and they're clearly going to burn the place down and we have nothing, grab Lucia and bring her to Day and try to see, if that works out.
Gotcha.
I say grab. We could arrest her. Feasibly, Seamus could arrest her. He's an officer of the law. That makes this above board. It's not kidnapping, it's arrest. When the state kidnaps someone, it's called arrest.
When the state kidnaps someone.
Yeah, and I'm sure she would come along quietly.
No, but I mean, this is what police do, right? Is they try to, kidnap people. Those people say no, and then they force them to be kidnapped.
Yeah, except you remember, we're both riffs. This would only go terribly.
Well, yeah, again, it's a B. It's plan B. Plan A, whatever that happens to be, fails. Plan B is you're under arrest. She resists. We detain. We bring her back to the station and question her. All totally above board, except that no one could be there but you.
But plan A...
I mean, do we want to try and sneak in the way that you did before, Faye?
I have another idea. Since no one's here, like no one, or since no one knows we're here, why don't we just leave? Tell Day about this place and have her send some other officers to check it
absolutely. No, I mean, like that, I think, right, the issue is what if there's nothing here that actually, if this is a building full of alcohol, and, oh gosh, what's her name?
Lucia.
And Lucia, that doesn't prove anything. It's a building full of alcohol. Like, unless these trucks say property of the Muellers on them, we really can't, you know what I mean?
Right. We're still at the problem of somebody else will take this fall.
Someone else could. Yeah, I'm not sure that Lucia would, but feasibly the Muellers would have a fall guy if one of these places got discovered.
I would also like to point out that the problem with that plan is that if they don't have an exit strategy, it works, and they probably have an exit strategy to get rid of anything incriminating. You know, it's probably like the amount of stuff tying it to the Muellers is minimal. Well, much how Darling and Tanner were able to pack up everything important while the building was under assault and on fire and get out of there with all the important incriminating stuff to run the organization, you would assume that the Muellers, who are running an operation as good as you guys, except for their guards apparently, would have a similar thing in place to minimize how much they are linked to any individual location.
Okay, I think I have a proposal for Plan A. And I don't think no one's gonna like it, but it's a Plan A. So I have many skills. None of them are not being seen. I am not subtle. Faye, on the other hand, you can literally turn into a flea. That's like the best for sneaking. You could sneak up to the office area, see if you can find something solid that ties the Muellers to this building, steal it, and then we tell Day to come here. That way, if they do try to burn documents, we have stuff that could tie the Muellers to this place, right?
Right.
And then, if that goes bad, then we enact Plan A.5, which is, I crash a flaming car into the building to rescue you. That feels like something that's happened before, because it has. And then if that all fails, we go to Plan B, which is throw Lucia in a car and drive her to Day because she's walking evidence. I'm also open to literally any other suggestions other than just having Faye walk in and try to grab what I hope is a ledger full of nefarious things.
I am also very open to other ideas.
Quick question about how these plans stack on each other. How are you throwing Lucia in the car if you light it on fire?
There's a bunch of cars outside.
Right, we're just taking
I'm
a
just
different
making
car.
sure. I want to know.
No, we got it.
So
I want to know how things are happening.
Like,
I don't want
crap car is exploded, and then we threw Lucia in just whatever car is available. Like, whichever one is pointed away from the building right now, that would be our getaway car. Tanner's already pulling the door off of it.
I just wanted to double check that like things were thought through before we blow up a car and then be like, well, how do you get back to town now?
Well, do any of us know which car is Lucia's? Have we maybe seen that before? Anyone?
What's the nicest car?
That's a good question.
Is one of the cars extremely and awkwardly gendered? You know what I mean? Does one of them have, like, pink seats?
Because that's what Lucia would go for.
Yeah, and, like, a giant, like, medallion of the, like, the Austin Powers-y, like, guy medallion, but the opposite. Anyone who's seen Austin Powers knows exactly what I'm talking about. There's, like, symbols for men and women. The one's, like, the circle with the thingy, and the one's, like, a circle with an arrow. Like, a giant gold one of those hanging from, like, the rearview mirror.
Make me a perception check, someone.
Would Seamus know what Lucia's car looks like?
Oh, that's a much better question.
He probably has the best chance out of all of us, but...
I'll say it this way, Seamus, you've never seen her drive a car.
So she walks everywhere. Got it. Is there a horse?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh my gosh, I wish Lucia just cloppity clipped everywhere.
There's not a horse.
Because alternatively, if we are just able to tail Lucia or mark her somehow, then that could lead us to somewhere where the Muellers actually are, which might be more useful for us, but I doubt we're in a position to perhaps do that. Do we have an artifact that, like, That's like a tracking thing? Am I making that up? Okay.
We did.
It was the dog tags.
Oh, I mean, I'm thinking of something like you put in somebody's pocket and then you can find it later.
Oh, no.
You could ask your buddy Lennox Willis to do that for you, but, you know,
Yeah.
it's a little late for that right now.
We do not have the ability to LoJack people.
I nodded my head no in an audio format, so...
We don't have the coin because Bill has the coin, right?
Yes, you gave it to Bill as severance, not severance, as a Christmas bonus.
Right. Could be severance. We'll see how long he lives.
Is that how severance works?
No, I mean more like last pay. So if there's no other plans, how would I, even if I were to find the most incriminating evidence possible in an office, how would I get out with said evidence?
Okay, hear me out. And this
As
is
a bird with it in your beak.
no, this is maybe too personal of a question, but I guess like Taryn would probably have noticed this by now. Do you become nude when you transform? Like if you transform and then transform again, are you now naked?
No, I have my clothes back.
So if you went up there as a bug, transformed into a human in a room that you were alone in, put the paper in your pocket, and then transformed back into a bug, presumably that paper would now be inside of that bug. I want to hear if this is a logical fallacy, right? That like if your clothes,
I suppose.
like you don't lose your keys every time you transform, so inanimate objects in your pocket remain in your pocket.
Right.
Ooh, now that becomes its own question of how far that reaches. If you like carry a purse, does your purse transform with you? I don't know. Does Faye carry a purse?
So, the way that I have been ruling it is whatever she is wearing or using transforms into part of her kind of thing. However, it's also, she's only ever transformed with stuff that is already hers, so I'd probably have her make a roll for it, because also this is a game, and at a certain point,
Right.
tension is added by things not going right, or have them being the potential to go wrong. So, I will say it is completely doable. You will have to roll to be able to do that, though, Caitlin.
Okay.
Like, it won't be, it's not like when you can just shapeshift into a bird. You know,
No,
like, you
no,
can-
I understand.
I'm also like totally open to other plans. This feels like the most straightforward, boneheaded plan I could come up with, which is literally have the sneakiest person walk in and grab the most incriminating thing and then leave.
Could we have a distraction outside? Like something...
I thought about that, but would that not then convince the Muellers to burn this place to the ground?
I was trying to think of something that could have been like naturally caused that...
Tip those cows.
Bear attack. I'm open to suggestions on that. I just have no idea what that would be. We could light the cornfield on fire.
I mean, that's not terrible.
So that was initially when I asked, is this in an urban or a not urban setting? And then Zach asked, which is the place that'd be leak light. I was gonna like have a building next door, like have like a shootout start or something. Just like anything that isn't necessarily us, but is distracting.
Right.
I mean, my whole thing is like drawing attention to myself. I could shoot at one of the cars or something, like, because there's a bunch of cars out here. Or just light one on fire.
But again, that feels like that's an attack now, and then they'll be like, oh, this place has been found.
That's true.
We have to abandon it. It can't be anything that would make them think that they should abandon this place.
Right.
I mean, it hasn't gone bad every time we've had you go in someplace by yourself. You could take Darling with you.
That's true. I could just only do that one shape.
Oh, Darling will not be able to do the pocket trick for you.
Well, yeah, no.
Yeah, right.
No,
But
I
that's-
would be
only need one
backup.
person to do that. It would just be if she got captured, someone else would be there.
Well, we could pass the baton in that I could get in, find the papers, and then hope there's a window that I can hand them to for... I guess I could just escape myself
Yeah.
in that case.
I mean, the other option that I see is we hope that there is a ladder somewhere. We try to get on top of the roof and then, like, cut a hole in the roof and slip into it and, see if we can not Santa Claus the solution to this problem. But
Have your 4 friends lower you down.
yeah, that feels like... That sounds like me falling through a roof. You know what I mean? Like when I think about that plan, I think about me falling 2 stories through a roof, and I don't want to fall 2 stories through a roof tonight.
I didn't either last time we were in a warehouse, but here we are.
Ooh.
I mean, I feel like, okay, and like this is maybe, okay, this is gonna be mean, but I'm gonna say it. I feel like if we were to break down our crew of people, Faye, you're kind of the, like, get in unseen and snatch evidence person, and, like, I'm kind of I think me and Seamus are kind of the you've gotten captured and now need help people. So, it's kind of like, I don't want to say this is your job, but it's definitely not my job.
I get it.
I think what he's getting at is it's more your skill set than ours.
And I'm realizing that I would just prefer a different plan, but I think this is what we're going with. Yes, darling.
Zach, okay, the guys, so we followed a truck here, and there's like, are they like unloading or loading from this?
They're loading inside they're loading inside the building.
They're loading inside the building.
There's like a bay area, and these trucks are smaller, I guess. I don't actually know how warehouses work. I said they would pulled into a garage. So I think there's like a garage that is attached to the loading bay that they're in, loading up trucks.
Okay, so the one other option I could see, I don't know which one would be better or worse, would be honestly grab one of those guys while they're walking back and forth from the truck, and Faye goes in as them.
That's an idea. That's an idea.
I don't know if it would make sense for them to go up to an office, though.
No, that's totally fair. I'm just trying to think of anything else that we could do. If we can use the fact that they're loading and unloading to our advantage, or what?
Well, and man, I really feel like I'm like a one-trick pony here, and it's really a bad trick. Like, if we were gonna grab somebody... Well, at that point, we could wait for Lucia to come outside and grab her, switch places with her, and then we would have both Lucia in custody and a stand-in Lucia.
That's true.
So then that's kind of both plans A and B happening at the same time.
Right.
I say detain Lucia, and do we know what her powers are? Like, do we know what she does?
No.
Boy, I can't wait to find that out.
I believe we've seen one where she can turn into birds too. Do we see that one?
GM, fact check.
I think you guys
Yeah,
said
there
that.
is.
She can turn into birds.
There was off the casino boat. It might have only been Faye and me.
Does she turn into birds, like plural birds?
It is plural.
Great, that makes it so much easier. So we need a blanket.
Hang on. What? Okay, sorry. I know we're kind of getting plans, but I'm finally like getting some brainstorming happening here. What if we cause a distraction with the truck that brought the alcohol? We can either like rewire something to make, the engine smoke or something, or knock over some alcohol, make everybody run outside. There you've got a distraction while Faye goes in and is going to be way less noticeable whatever she's doing.
Are we still taking Lucia in that distraction, or no? Just, it's an opportunity for me to sneak in.
I believe at that moment it's just an opportunity.
Okay.
Because I still am not sold on taking Lucia personally.
Yes, she's a bit of a wild card.
I just don't see it. Like, I realize that Seamus has the power of the police or whatever, but I just don't see her talking. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree.
She's slippery.
Maybe can we stage something so it looks like somebody's cigarette fell onto alcohol, lit it on fire outside, maybe?
I love the fire talk, because we always end up back there.
Now, a lit cigarette on the seat of, like, the truck, I feel like, but the truck went inside, didn't it?
It did, but it is not impossible. Regardless of what you do with, like, a truck, like, it's going to be one sneak check. I'm not going to make it harder because it's inside. You'd have to sneak up to it regardless, and then plant your device, whatever it is, to make it.
Well, no, the cars that are outside, like, we've already done stuff to those. If the truck was outside, we could just drop a lit cigarette in the window and have it, like, catch the seat on fire, and then people would be like, oh no, you idiot, you let your cigarette go.
Well, you're going to have to make a sneak check, yeah. Remember, you guys can do, like, whatever the help action in this game is called.
Juice?
No.
No.
We also do have the can get anywhere tag from our group tags.
Breaking those
pulling
out.
out all the stops today.
Right?
I thought there was a help roll in this. I guess it has changed the game. You could do change the game roles to help each other, like make tags for each other.
Okay. Right, so doing this would get the tag on the rest of the people of distracted, and that would give me a +1 and going in.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it would be best if we did something maybe with one of the other trucks. I don't think it really matters how plausible it is necessarily, as long as they can easily suspect one of their own people to have dropped something or left something.
Absolutely, yeah.
So even if it's a lit cigarette in one of these cars out here, they can accuse somebody of, just tossing it and squabble from there. I'm fine with that.
Okay, who's gonna go drop the cigarette in?
Wasn't it weird thinking that, like, in this time period, all 4 of you would be smoking cigarettes?
Yeah, I was like, oh, who would be? And you're right. No, all of us would be.
Darling has done it before in the podcast.
This feels like a Darling thing. I'm gonna go move the car and get it ready to be turned into a bomb.
Seems like a Darling thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, I can try. I'm more likely to bring attention to myself, but I will attempt.
That's a fair point, actually.
Darling and Tanner both make change the game rolls.
Okay.
Are these sneaking?
They're separate. No, it's changed the game. Since it's outside, you guys want to argue that it doesn't need change of sneak, so I'll give you that.
No. My question, I guess, is what types of tags can I add to this, if any?
This is to have your plan go off without a hitch, so probably a little bit sneak, a little bit luck to get it to, like, light into the cigarette and stuff. So however you want to play that. Tanner, you're rolling a change the game to get the car ready to turn into a bomb.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll with revenge and distraction with the intent of not being the distraction this time.
Yes, I'll give you both of those. Yeah, unless you don't want to roll for that, Tanner, and have to do it later, but I was figuring you said you were going to prep for it, so I was going to let you do that now, so like later on when you say, I flick the switch, it just goes.
Could I make the argument for Mobile Slayer's Kit and Marksman?
I'll say you can make Mobile Slayer's Kit for sure. Marksman seems
because
little bit
I'm using it like a projectile weapon, basically. Because I would say this: whenever I would trigger this event, I would have been rolling with Marksman to aim the car at the building.
I won't give you Marksman, but I'll give you whatever that do one better tag you have is for your crew tag.
Okay,
like your one-upping tag, where you're like, last time it didn't work, but this time, Seamus, watch me.
Okay, so that's a 7.
Okay,
that's a 10 for Darling.
Tanner, you get the story tag of exploding car.
Awesome. Hopefully we won't need it.
Darling, you get the effect of burning car, which is the one you lit on fire. And then I'm assuming do you want to scale up the effects, prolong it? You don't want to hide it. Anything else? Or you can burn a power tag, which I don't think you want to do right now. I
think either scale up the effect or prolong the effect.
Would you like to go longer or distract more people?
I think distract more people would probably help Faye more.
Sounds good. Faye, make me a sneak roll.
Okay. Shape-shifting and raven shape?
Yep, and you get a +1 from from Darling.
Okay. That is a 9.
Alright, so you turn into your bird and flap, flap, flap all the way up to the office. You notice that a large distraction, a lot of people start running out and screaming, yelling at each other about who lit the car on fire, who threw their cigarette in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you swoop in, avoiding everyone, not being noticed, and you land in this office. It is dark, so you start scrambling around. Luckily the door was open, so you didn't have to I
considered that as you were describing things.
Yeah, so you get to swoop in. The door is slightly cracked.
Okay.
and you land and turn back into a human and start looking around you as you hear the door shut behind you. Hello, Miss Cameron. I think we should have a talk. As Lucia is standing between you and the door. And this is where we'll stop.
I was gonna say.
No, I would act plan A. Plan A, 0.5.
Hey Wanderers, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Naptown Chronicles. If you want to hear more content from the Wandering Gamer Network, you can check out the Wandering Gamer Network website. We also post Let's Plays that we do on YouTube under the channel Wandering Gamer Network. On Twitch, we can be found at Wandering_Gamers, and you can follow us on Twitter at the WGN Podcast. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. The intro and outro music was composed by Caitlin Balgman, who voices Faye in this podcast. All other music is openly licensed or in the public domain. Now, sleeper, it is time to rest, and remember, it is the gods who envy us.